You listen
Ma'am,
to
this
me.
section is
Move
business
that right
class.
now.
Your seat
I
is
don't
in the
care
back.
what you think. Back off.
The flight attendant's voice
That
is
is
polite
enough,
but
both
firm.
of you.
The woman in the
You're
aisle
not going
doesn't
anywhere.
move.
You need to sit down right
She's
now.
black
I have
mid-40s
to get
hair
past
pulled
you.
back
Please
in a
let me
tight
through.
bun. Worn jacket. No jewelry. No makeup. She looks tired. I said your seat is 7C, I know. Her voice is quiet, flat. She turns toward economy. Behind her, a man in 3A expensive watch, pressed shirt, leans to his seatmate and mutters, probably upgraded by mistake. A few passengers smirk. One pulls out a phone. 23 minutes from now, nobody will be laughing. 23 minutes from now, the man in 3A will be gripping his armrest so hard his knuckles turn white and begging her not to leave the cockpit. Imani Brooks walks down the aisle. Her canvas duffel bag hangs from one shoulder, fraying at the seams. The zipper is held together with a safety pin. Her jeans are faded. Her boots have seen better years. She passes first class. The seats are wide, leather reclined. A businessman sips scotch from a crystal glass. A woman scrolls through her tablet, noise-canceling headphones blocking out the world. Nobody looks at Imani. She's invisible here. She reaches row 7, window seat, 7C. She slides in, sets her bag beneath the seat in front of her. The fabric is worn enough that she can feel the metal frame of the seat through it. She buckles her seatbelt. Low, tight, 5-point habit. Her fingers move fast, pull the lap belt snug across her hips, check the buckle twice, tug the loose end to eliminate slack. It's not the standard 2-point most passengers fumble with. It's military. Instinct carved into muscle memory. Nobody notices, except Harold Peterson in 12F. He's 67, gray buzz cut, forearms thick from decades of manual labor. A faded Navy anchor tattoo peeks out from under his sleeve. He's seen enough flight decks to recognize the way someone straps in when they've done it 1,000 times before. He watches her for 3 seconds, then looks away, says nothing. The cabin fills. Carry-ons shoved overhead, coats wedged into bins. A baby wails 2 rows back. A teenager argues with his mother about switching seats. Imani closes her eyes, rests her head against the window. Her right hand settles on the armrest, fingers, curled thumb resting on top, like she's gripping something that isn't there. A control stick, a throttle, the ghost of 15 years in a cockpit. She exhales. 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Slow, deliberate, the way they taught her at Nellis. The engines hum. The plane pushes back from the gate. Memorising. Up in business class, Grant Harlan is already holding court. He's 52, tan from too many resort vacations, Rolex gleaming on his wrist, CEO of a commercial real estate empire that stretches across 3 states. He doesn't fly commercial often, only when his private jet is in maintenance, and he makes sure everyone knows it. Last week I flew direct to Aspen, he says to the man beside him, voice loud enough to carry 3 rows. Private. No security lines, no baggage claim, no... He waves a hand vaguely toward the back of the plane. No distractions. The man nods politely, clearly uninterested. Grant doesn't notice. Linda Crane sits 2 rows ahead in 2B48. Sharp suit, sharper eyes. Corporate attorney for a Fortune 500 firm. She's already reviewed 3 contracts since boarding Red Pen, moving across her tablet screen with surgical precision. She doesn't look up, doesn't engage. She's paid to think, not socialize. In 4C, Derek Shaw props his phone on the tray table. 29, tech influencer, 300,000 followers. Ring light clipped to the seat in front of him. What's up, fam? He says into the camera, grinning wide. Flying business class today. About to give you the full experience. Snack service the works. Stay tuned. He flips the camera to show his champagne glass. Bubbles catch the overhead light. Paige Scott, the lead flight attendant, moves through the cabin with practiced efficiency. 34, 10 years with the airline. She's seen it all. Turbulence, medical emergencies, unruly passengers, equipment failures. She's calm under pressure because she has to be. Her junior, Jordan Lee, trails behind. 26. 2 months on the job. Still nervous. Still double-checking every seatbelt, every tray table, every overhead bin latch. Jordan stumbles slightly as the plane turns. Paige catches her elbow, steadies her. "You're fine. Just keep moving." Jordan nods, cheeks flushing. The plane taxis toward the runway. Outside, the tarmac stretches flat and gray under an overcast sky. The mountains are visible in the distance, dark silhouettes against pale clouds. Imani's eyes are closed, but she's not asleep. She's listening. The pitch of the engines, the rhythm of the wheels on pavement, the slight vibration when they cross expansion joints. Every sound tells her something. Her fingers tap the armrest. 4 beats. Pause. 4 beats. Pause. Harold notices again. He's 3 rows back across the aisle. He leans forward slightly, watching her hand. That rhythm. He's heard it before. Not from passengers, from pilots. It's how they time turbulence cycles during pre-flight briefs. He frowns, sits back, keeps watching. The plane reaches the runway. The engines spool up. That deep building roar that makes the whole fuselage vibrate. Imani's hand tightens on the armrest. Not from fear, from memory. She knows this sound, knows the exact moment when the throttles hit takeoff power, knows the feeling of being pressed back into the seat as 30 tons of metal accelerates to 150 knots in 30 seconds. She used to love it. The plane lifts, smooth, clean. The wheels leave the ground, and for a moment everything is weightless. Imani opens her eyes, watches the ground fall away. The city shrinks. The clouds rise to meet them. She exhales again. 4 counts. Behind her, a child kicks her seat. Once, twice, 3 times. She doesn't react, just closes her eyes again. The seatbelt sign dings off. The cabin relaxes. Passengers unbuckle, stand stretch. The overhead bins rattle as people retrieve phones, headphone snacks. Grant orders another champagne. "Keep them coming," he tells Paige with a wink she doesn't return. Derek films himself, holding up a bottle of sparkling water. Hydration is key, people. Even at 30,000 feet, your boy stays sharp. Linda is back on her tablet. 3 emails answered, 4 more waiting. Jordan pushes the beverage cart down the aisle, offering drinks. She's getting better, less hesitant. Paige watches from the galley, nodding approval. Imani declines when Jordan reaches her row. "I'm fine, thank you." Jordan smiles, moves on. Imani shifts in her seat. Her jacket rides up slightly. For half a second, Harold catches a glimpse of something on her wrist. A scar. Thin, pale against her dark skin. Runs about 2 inches along the inside of her left wrist. He's seen scars like that before. Ejection injuries. When the harness slams tight at 300 knots, it leaves marks. His eyes narrow. He looks at her face. She's staring out the window, expression blank. He doesn't say anything. Not yet. Up in the cockpit, Captain Daniel Morris is going through cruise checks. 59 years old. 28 years with the airline. Over 18,000 flight hours. Clean record. 2 commendations for handling in-flight emergencies. He's good. One of the best. But he's tired. Last night he didn't sleep well. Chest felt tight. Probably nothing. Probably just stress. He's flying back-to-back red-eyes this week. He rubs his sternum absently. Tara Nguyen. His first officer glances over. "You okay, Captain?" "Fine. Just didn't sleep great." Tara nods. She's 28. Sharp. Quick learner. But only 2 years out of training. She's flown this route a dozen times, but always with experienced captains. Morris is one of the best she's worked with. She trusts him completely. She shouldn't. The first sign of trouble comes 38 minutes into the flight. The plane jolts. Not much. Just a quick bump. like hitting a pothole on the highway. A few passengers look up. Most ignore it. Then it happens again. Harder this time. The plane drops maybe 20 feet, then catches itself. Gasps ripple through the cabin. The seatbelt sign dings on. Tara's voice crackles over the PA, calm but firm. Folks, we're hitting some light chop over the Rockies. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. We'll be through it shortly. Jordan grabs the beverage cart, trying to secure it. A can of soda rolls off, clatters to the floor. She scrambles to pick it up. Paige moves quickly through the cabin, checking seatbelts, pulling down tray tables, closing overhead bins that passengers left ajar. Grant is halfway through his third champagne. He barely notices the turbulence, just grips his glass tighter. Derek lowers his phone. His smile fades. Okay, that was a little rough, but we're good, right? His viewers flood the chat. Is it bad? You okay? Stay safe, bro. He laughs, but it sounds forced. Yeah, just some bumps. Nothing crazy. Linda saves her document, closes her tablet, looks out the window. The clouds are thicker now, darker. Trevor Mason in 8D is breathing faster. His hands grip the armrests, white-knuckled. He's 29, software engineer. Flies maybe twice a year, hates every second of it. This is his worst nightmare. The plane drops again, 50 feet this time. Sudden, like the floor just disappeared. Screams, real ones, not just gasps. A woman in 10B shrieks. Her husband grabs her hand. A baby starts wailing. The overhead bins rattle. One pops open. A backpack tumbles out, hits the floor. Jordan stumbles, catches herself on a seat back. Paige is at her side in seconds. You're okay. Stay low. Move to the galley. Jordan nods wide-eyed and hurries toward the back. Imani's eyes are open now. She's not gripping the armrest. She's not gasping. She's watching the ceiling. The lights flicker. Once. Just for a second. Then steady again. But it's enough. Her fingers start moving, tapping the armrest again. But this time she's counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. The turbulence hits in cycles. 4 seconds between jolts. Consistent. That's not random chop. That's wind shear. Vertical and horizontal. Shifting air masses colliding over the mountains. She knows this pattern. She's flown through it before. In a fighter jet with afterburners and a thrust-to-weight ratio that could punch through anything. This plane doesn't have that. Harold is watching her again. He sees her face, calm, too calm. He leans across the aisle. You a nervous flyer, ma'am? She doesn't look at him, just shakes her head once. No. Could have fooled me. You're awful still. I've been through worse. He raises an eyebrow. Worse than this? She doesn't answer. He sits back, but he keeps watching. The turbulence intensifies. The plane rocks side to side. The wings flex. Passengers can see them bending through the windows, normal for modern aircraft, but terrifying if you've never noticed it before. Grant presses the call button. Once, twice, 3 times. Someone better tell us what's going on up there. Paige appears at his row. Sir, we're experiencing turbulence. The captain is aware. Please keep your seatbelt fastened. I know we're in turbulence. I want to know when it's going to stop. The captain will update us as soon as the plane drops again. 200 feet, straight down, no warning. The sensation is sickening. Like the bottom of a roller coaster, but worse. Longer. Your stomach stays up while your body falls. People scream. Loud. Panicked. Trevor is hyperventilating. His chest heaves. His vision tunnels. He can't breathe. Paige sees him, kneels beside his seat. Sir, look at me. Breathe with me. In through your nose. He tries. Can't. His hands are shaking. Out through your mouth. Slow. With me. He manages one breath, then another. It's not enough. but it's something. Captain Morris keys the PA. His voice comes through, strained but controlled. Folks, we've encountered some unexpected wind shear. We're climbing out of it now. Sit tight. We'll be through this in a few minutes. The engines roar louder. The plane pitches upward, nose rising, climbing, fighting the downdrafts. The turbulence eases, not gone, but manageable. Grant exhales loudly. Finally, what a mess. Derek picks up his phone again. His hands are still shaking. He films himself, forces a grin. Okay, that was intense, but we're good now. Captain's got us. His chat is going wild. Dude, you okay? That looked scary. Glad you're safe. Linda opens her tablet again, but she doesn't look at the screen. Just stares at it, unseeing. Trevor is still breathing hard. Paige stays beside him. You're doing great. Keep breathing. Imani leans back in her seat, closes her eyes, but she's still listening. The engines. The pitch is wrong. Not dangerous. Not yet, but inconsistent. Fluctuating RPM. Engine 2 is running lean. Probably a sensor issue. Probably nothing. Probably, she whispers to herself. So quiet that even Harold 3 rows back barely hears it. Squawk 7700. Emergency transponder code 7700. The universal signal that something is very, very wrong. Tara is walking past her row, heading to the galley. She hears it, stops, turns, looks at Imani. Their eyes meet for half a second. Tara's face goes pale. She doesn't know who this woman is, but she knows what that code means. Imani closes her eyes again, says nothing else. Tara swallows hard, keeps walking, but her hands are shaking now. Grant doesn't notice. He's back on his phone typing an angry email to the airline about unacceptable service standards. Derek is back to filming, smiling, playing it off. Linda is reading a contract, or pretending to, but Trevor is still breathing fast, and Harold is still watching Imani. And up in the cockpit, Captain Morris rubs his chest again. The tightness hasn't gone away. If anything, it's getting worse. The cabin settles into uneasy quiet. The turbulence has eased to occasional bumps. Nothing severe. But the atmosphere has changed. People are tense, watchful. Grant finishes his email hit send with more force than necessary. Derek scrolls through comments on his live stream, forcing responses that sound upbeat. Linda pretends to read legal briefs, but hasn't turned a page in 3 minutes. Trevor has stopped hyperventilating, but his hands haven't left the armrest. Paige checks on him once more, then moves back to the galley where Jordan is restocking the beverage cart with shaking hands. First rough flight? Paige asks gently. Jordan nods. Is it always like that? Sometimes. You did fine. I thought we were going to crash. Paige doesn't answer, just squeezes her shoulder. Imani opens her eyes. She's still listening to the engines, still counting, but now she's hearing something else. A sound, subtle, high-pitched, coming from somewhere above and behind her. It's the hydraulic pump for the flight control system. She can hear it cycling. The frequency is off by maybe half a hertz. Most people wouldn't notice. Most people wouldn't know what it means. She does. It means the pump is working harder than it should, compensating for something. Pressure loss, fluid leak, or a valve that's sticking. Not an emergency, not yet, but a sign that systems are being stressed beyond normal parameters. She shifts in her seat, glances up at the ceiling panels, as if she could see through them to the hydraulic lines and actuators buried in the airframe. Harold notices the look. He's seen that look before, on mechanics, on crew chiefs, on people who know how machines are supposed to sound and can tell when something is wrong. He leans forward, keeps his voice low. You hear something? Imani glances at him, doesn't answer right away. Then quietly, hydraulic pump, port side, running at 87% duty cycle. Harold blinks. How can you possibly know that? Same way you can tell when a ship's engine is running rough. You just know. He stares at her. You're not just a pilot, are you? She looks away. I used to be. Used to be what? She doesn't answer, just closes her eyes again. Harold sits back. His mind is racing. Port side hydraulic pump. Duty cycle. Nobody talks like that unless they've spent years around high-performance aircraft. Commercial pilots know systems, sure, but not like that. Not by sound alone. He takes out his phone, types into the search bar military pilot hydraulic systems, scrolls through results, finds a forum thread from an Air Force maintenance tech talking about F-16 hydraulic diagnostics. You can tell pump efficiency by the pitch of the cycling noise. Experienced pilots can estimate duty cycle within 5% just by listening. He looks at Imani again. She hasn't moved. Her breathing is steady, controlled. He puts his phone away, says nothing. But he knows. Up in the cockpit, Captain Morris is reviewing the weather ahead. The display shows a line of thunderstorms building over eastern Colorado. Nothing unusual for this time of year. Nothing they can't navigate around. Tara points to a cell on the radar. That one's growing fast, Morris nods. We'll vector north, give it 20 miles clearance. He reaches for the comm panel to request a heading change from Denver Center. His hand trembles slightly. He notices, flexes his fingers, shakes it off. You okay, Captain? Tara asks again. Yeah, just tired. She doesn't push, but she's watching him now, more carefully than before. Morris keys the radio. Denver Center, November 7-2. Echo request heading 350 to avoid weather. 7-2 Echo Denver Center, turn left. Heading 350 approved. Advise when clear of weather. Left 35072 Echo. The plane banks gently. The new heading takes them north, paralleling the line of storms. Through the cockpit windows, they can see lightning flickering inside the clouds. Bright flashes, silent from this distance. Tara checks the radar again. We should be clear in about 20 minutes. Morris nods, rubs his chest. The tightness is worse now. Spreading to his left arm, he doesn't say anything. The plane flies smooth for 10 minutes. The storm system passes to the south. Passengers begin to relax. Conversations resume. The baby in the back stops crying. Grant orders another drink. His fourth. Or fifth. He's lost count. Derek is back to filming. All right, fam, crisis averted. Told you we were fine. Your boy never doubts the process. Linda has actually managed to read 2 pages of her contract now. She highlights a clause, makes a note in the margin. Trevor has released his death grip on the armrests. His breathing is almost normal. Then Paige's radio crackles. She's in the galley, reorganizing supplies Jordan knocked over during the turbulence. She pulls the radio from her belt, holds it to her ear. The voice is quiet, tense. It's Tara. Paige, I need you up front now. Paige's stomach drops. Copy. She hands the radio to Jordan. Stay here. Don't leave the galley. Jordan's eyes go wide. What's wrong? Just stay here. Paige walks quickly toward the cockpit. Keeps her face neutral. Doesn't run. Running would cause panic. She knocks twice on the cockpit door. A pause. Then it opens a crack. Tara's face is white. Paige slips inside. The door closes behind her. Captain Morris is slumped forward in his seat. His hands are on the yoke, but barely. His breathing is shallow. Fast. His face is gray. Sweat soaks his collar. What happened? Paige whispers. He said his chest hurt. Then he just... Tara's voice breaks. He's still conscious, barely. Morris tries to speak. His words are slurred. Can't breathe. Paige moves to his side, puts a hand on his shoulder. Captain, can you hear me? He nods weakly. We're going to get you help. Just stay with us. She looks at Tara. Can you fly this? Tara nods, but her hands are shaking. I can. But if he gets worse, if he passes out, then we land now. Nearest airport is Denver, 40 minutes out. Can you make it 40 minutes? Tara swallows hard. I don't know. Paige squeezes Morris's shoulder once more, then steps back toward the door. I'm getting a doctor. She slips out, closes the door, takes 3 deep breaths, then picks up the PA handset. Her voice is steady, practiced, no hint of the panic clawing at her chest. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a medical situation with the captain. If there is a doctor on board, please press your call button immediately. The cabin goes silent. Every head turns, looking around, waiting. 5 seconds pass, then a single ding. Dr. Catherine Reed in 9A stands. She's 55, cardiothoracic surgeon, 28 years in operating rooms. She's seen every kind of heart emergency there is. She walks to the front, calm, efficient. Paige meets her at the cockpit door. Doctor, yes. The captain is experiencing chest pain and difficulty breathing. Dr. Reed's expression doesn't change. Let me see him. Paige opens the door. Dr. Reed steps inside. She takes one look at Morris and knows exactly what she's dealing with. Myocardial infarction, heart attack, possibly ST elevation. He needs a hospital. Now. She checks his pulse. Weak, thready. His skin is clammy, lips slightly blue. How long has he been like this? She asked Tara. 5 minutes, maybe less. Dr. Reed nods. We need to get him flat. I can't treat him in this seat. Tara glances at the instruments. The plane is on autopilot, but she's monitoring everything. Can you wait 2 minutes? No. Tara's jaw tightens. Okay, help me move him. Between the 3 of them, Tara, Paige, and Dr. Reed, they manage to ease Morris out of the captain's seat and onto the floor behind the flight deck. It's cramped. Barely enough room for Dr. Reed to kneel beside him. She starts chest compressions, counts under her breath, checks for response. Morris's eyes flutter. He's still conscious. Barely. Hang on, Dr. Reed says. Not to him, to herself. Paige steps back into the cabin, closes the cockpit door. Her face is pale but composed. She picks up the PA handset again. Her hand is steady. Her voice is not. Ladies and gentlemen, if there are any qualified pilots on board, please identify yourself to the crew immediately. The cabin erupts. What? Oh my God. Are you serious right now? Grant sits up straight. Wait, what's happening? Why do we need another pilot? Linda's tablet slips from her hands, clatters to the floor. Derek's live stream explodes. Chat going so fast he can't read it. What is the pilot? Dead? Are you okay? Trevor starts hyperventilating again. Worse than before. 5 seconds pass. 10, 15. Nobody moves. Then Imani stands. Every eye in the cabin turns to her. She steps into the aisle. Doesn't say anything. Just walks toward the front. Grant stares. His mouth falls open. You've got to be kidding me. Linda looks up from her seat. Ma'am, this isn't the time for jokes. Imani's voice is low, steady. I'm a pilot. Silence. Then chaos. Derek points his phone at her. Wait. You're a pilot. Trevor gasps. She's an economy. She can't be a real pilot. Grant stands, blocks the aisle. Hold on. Show us your credentials. Show us something. Imani stops, looks at him, doesn't blink. Move. Not until you prove you're qualified. She reaches into her jacket, pulls out a worn leather wallet, opens it. Inside, an expired driver's license, a debit card, an old military ID with a faded photo, no active pilot certificate, no airline credentials. Grant takes the wallet from her hand, holds it up like evidence. See nothing. She's lying. Linda stands. Her lawyer instincts kick in. We cannot allow an unverified individual into the cockpit. It's a federal violation. A few other passengers start murmuring. louder now. She doesn't even look like a pilot. Why would someone lie about this? This is insane. Imani's jaw tightens. She looks at Grant, then at Linda, then at the growing crowd of passengers standing in the aisle phones out recording. She speaks quietly, but everyone hears it. Your captain is having a heart attack. Your first officer has 2 years of experience and has never handled an emergency like this. You're flying into a low-pressure system with deteriorating weather. We have maybe 40 minutes before this situation gets a lot worse. She pauses. You want credentials, or you want to live? Grant's face flushes red. I want someone qualified, not some random woman from economy who thinks she can. I flew F-16s for 15 years. The cabin goes dead silent. Grant blinks. What? United States Air Force. 15 years. Call sign Spectre 7. I've landed jets with 1 engine, no hydraulics, and battle damage. I've flown combat missions over Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan. I've done night carrier qualifications and precision strikes in zero visibility conditions. Her voice doesn't rise, doesn't waver. I can fly this plane, but if you'd rather stand here and debate my resume while people die, that's your choice. Nobody moves. Harold stands. His voice is calm, deep, carries weight. Let her through. Grant turns. Who the hell are you? Navy. 20 years. I know a pilot when I see one. Based on what? The way she strapped in. 5-point harness habit. The way she counted the turbulence cycles. The way she didn't panic when everyone else did. The way she just described hydraulic pump duty cycles by sound alone. He looks at Imani. She's the real deal. Grant hesitates, looks at Linda. Linda is staring at Imani. Her legal mind is racing. Protocol says no. Common sense says yes. She looks at Paige. Is the captain really that bad? Paige's voice cracks. Yes. Linda closes her eyes, nods. Let her in. Grant steps aside, barely. Imani walks toward the cockpit. The aisle feels longer than it is. Every passenger is watching. Some are recording. Others are praying. Derek films her back, whispers into his phone. This is unreal. I don't know if this is brave or crazy. Trevor is crying, soft, broken. We're going to die. Linda sits back down, grips the armrests, stares at the seat back in front of her. Grant collapses into his seat. His hands are shaking. He's not shouting anymore. Paige opens the cockpit door. Imani steps inside. The space is small, cramped. Captain Morris is on the floor, Dr. Reed still performing compressions. His face is gray. His eyes are closed. Tara is in the right seat, hands white-knuckled on the yoke. The autopilot is off. She's flying manually. Her eyes flick to Imani, then back to the instruments. Who are you? Tara's voice is tight, strained. Imani Brooks, former Air Force, F-16 pilot. Tara's eyes widen. You're serious? Yes. Can you help me? That's why I'm here. Imani moves to the observer seat behind Tara, scans the instrument panel, altitude, airspeed, heading, vertical speed, engine temps, fuel quantity. She takes it all in. 5 seconds. Then she speaks. What's your fuel state? Tara glances at the gauge. 4 hours at current consumption. Nearest suitable airport, Denver, 42 minutes out. Weather, deteriorating. They're reporting wind shear and possible icing. Imani nods. What's your angle of attack? Tara checks the gauge. 8 degrees. Good. Hold it there. What's your indicated airspeed? 280 knots. VREF for this aircraft, 140. So you have plenty of margin. Relax your grip. You're over-controlling. Tara realizes her hands are cramping. She forces herself to loosen her grip. The plane steadies slightly. Better, Imani says. I'll take the radios. You focus on flying. Okay. Imani reaches for the comm panel. Keys the mic. Denver Center. November 7-2, Echo. Declaring pan-pan. Captain incapacitated due to medical emergency. First officer and additional pilot on board. Request priority handling and current weather for Denver International. There's a pause. Then the controller's voice comes back. Skeptical. 7-2 Echo Denver Center. Copy Pan Pan. Confirm additional pilot. What is your rating and currency? Imani hesitates. Her license isn't current. Hasn't been for 3 years. Technically, she's not legal to act as pilot in command on a civilian aircraft. Stand by, she says. The controller presses. 7-2 Echo. We need verification of qualifications before we can grant priority. Imani doesn't respond. She looks at Tara. Can I see your radar display? Tara points. Imani leans forward. The screen shows green and yellow returns. A line of storms building to the southwest. But there's something else. Half the display is blank. Pixels flickering. Your radar is degrading, Imani says. What? Ice buildup on the radome? You're losing coverage. Tara's face goes pale. Can we fix it? Not from here. Switch to backup radar. Tara flips a switch. The display flickers. Goes black. Comes back. Half the resolution. Grainy. Backup's not much better, Tara whispers. Imani leans back. Thinks. Pitot heat on? Yes. How's your airspeed indicator? Tara looks. The needle is bouncing, plus or minus 10 knots. Unstable. Ice in the pitot tube. You're flying partial panel now. I've never... You have now. Tara's breathing speeds up. She's on the edge of panic. Imani's voice softens, just slightly. Listen to me. You can do this. Trust your attitude indicator and your altimeter. Airspeed is secondary. You have plenty of power. Just keep the wings level and the nose where it needs to be. Tara nods, swallows hard. Okay. Good. Behind them, Dr. Reed stops compressions, checks Morris's pulse. Her face is grim. He's stable, for now. But I can't keep this up much longer. We need to get him on the ground. Imani nods. Working on it. She keys the radio again. Denver Center 7-2 Echo. We are experiencing icing conditions and radar degradation. Request immediate vectors to Denver International and emergency equipment standing by. 7-2 Echo. We still need pilot verification before... Imani cuts him off. We don't have time for this. I have an incapacitated captain, a first officer flying partial panel in icing conditions and deteriorating weather ahead. You can verify my qualifications after we land. Right now, I need vectors, and I need them now. There's a long pause, then a different voice comes on. Senior controller, male, calm. 7-2 Echo Denver Center. Understand your situation. Turn left, heading 090. Vectors to Denver. Expect ILS runway. 34 right. Wind 320 at 18, gusting 25. Visibility 3 miles in light rain. Emergency equipment will be standing by. Imani exhales. 7-2 Echo left 090. Thank you. She looks at Tara. You heard that. Turn left to 090. Tara makes the turn, smooth, controlled. The plane banks gently. For a moment, it seems like things might be okay. Then the master caution light illuminates. A chime sounds. Loud, insistent. Tara's eyes go wide. Engine 2, oil pressure low. Imani looks at the gauge. The needle is dropping. Fast. How low? 20 psi. Minimum is 30. Dropping or steady? Dropping. Imani's jaw tightens. Shut it down. What now? Before it seizes and tears itself apart. Tara's hand hovers over the engine cutoff switch. She's frozen. Do it, Imani says. Her voice is firm. Not harsh, just certain. Tara pulls the switch. Engine 2 spools down. The roar fades. The plane yaws to the right. Tara compensates with rudder, but the asymmetric thrust is fighting her. The plane shudders. The remaining engine, engine 1, roars louder, carrying the full load now. The cabin feels it immediately. The shudder, the yaw, the change in engine noise. People start screaming. Grant jumps to his feet, runs to the cockpit door, pounds on it. "What are you doing? You're killing us." Paige grabs his arm. "Sir, sit down." He shoves her aside. "No, get her out of there. She doesn't know what she's doing." Linda is on her feet now, too. This is insane. She just shut down an engine. Derek's live stream is at 10,000 viewers. The chat is chaos. Holy cow. What is happening? Pray for them. Trevor is sobbing, bent over, shaking. "We're going to crash. We're going to crash." Harold stands, moves to Grant, puts a hand on his shoulder. Firm. Sit. Down. Grant tries to pull away. Harold doesn't let go. "Sit down, or I will make you sit down." Grant looks at him, sees something in his eyes, something that says this man has seen worse and won't hesitate. He sits. Harold looks around the cabin, raises his voice. "Everyone, listen. Shutting down that engine probably just saved our lives. If it had seized mid-flight, we'd have lost control. She knows what she's doing. Let her do it." "How do you know?" Linda demands. "Because I've seen engine failures before, and I've seen pilots handle them. She's handling it." The cabin doesn't calm down, but the panic levels off, just slightly. Inside the cockpit, Imani is working fast. "Tara, rudder trim. Give me 5 units right." Tara adjusts the trim wheel. The plane stops yawing, levels out. "Good. Now throttle. Reduce engine 1 to 85%. We don't want to over-torque it. 85% set." The vibration eases. The plane is flying on one engine now. Slower, less efficient, but controlled. Imani keys the radio. "Denver Center 7-2. Echo. We are now single engine. Engine 2 shut down due to oil pressure loss. Request priority handling and closest suitable field with emergency equipment." The controller's voice is urgent now. 7-2 Echo copy, single engine. Buckley Air Force Base is your closest option. 12 o'clock, 40 miles. Runway 17 left, 8,500 feet full, emergency services available. Imani's heart skips. Buckley. She knows that base. She's landed there before. Different plane, different life. 7-2. Echo request vectors to Buckley. Turn right, heading 120. Descend and maintain 9,000. Right 120, descend to 9,000, 7-2 Echo. Tara makes the turn, starts the descent. Her hands are steadier now. She's finding her rhythm. Imani looks at the fuel gauge. 32 minutes remaining. Buckley is 20 minutes out. Tight, but doable. If nothing else goes wrong. The plane descends through 9,000 feet. Outside the windows, the clouds thicken. Gray, heavy, the kind that holds ice. Tara keeps her eyes on the attitude indicator, the horizon line, the only reference she has left that she can fully trust. The airspeed indicator is still fluctuating. The radar is nearly useless. She's flying on instinct now, and 2 years of experience. It's not enough. She knows it's not enough, but Imani is here, and somehow that makes it feel possible. "How's your fuel flow?" Imani asks. Tara checks the gauge. "Higher than normal. Single engine consumption." "Expected." "What's your total remaining?" 28 minutes. "Buckley is 18 minutes out. We have margin. Not much, but enough." Tara nods, tries to steady her breathing. Behind them, Dr. Reed is still on the floor with Captain Morris. She's given up on compressions. He's breathing on his own now. Shallow, weak, but breathing. She checks his pulse again. Thready, irregular. He needs a hospital. Soon. "How much longer?" she asks without looking up. 18 minutes, Imani says. "He might not have 18 minutes. "Then we make it 17. Dr. Reed doesn't respond. Just keeps monitoring Morris's vitals. The radio crackles. A new voice. Different frequency. Military precision. November 7-2. Echo Buckley Tower. We have you on radar. Confirm single-engine emergency with medical on board. Imani keys the mic. Buckley Tower 7-2. Echo. Affirm. Single-engine captain incapacitated partial panel. Request straight-in approach. Runway 17 left with full emergency response. 7-2 Echo Buckley Tower. Emergency equipment is rolling. Crash trucks. Medical fire suppression. Runway 17, left wind 160 at 15 gusting 22. Altimeter 2987. You are cleared for straight-in approach. Expect foam on the runway. Imani pauses. Foam. That means they're expecting a gear problem or a crash landing. Tower 7. 2 Echo. We have not declared gear unsafe. Confirm foam deployment. 7-2 Echo foam is precautionary. Repeat precautionary. We're not taking chances. Imani understands. Military bases don't wait for things to go wrong. They prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Copy Tower, 7-2 Echo. She looks at Tara. You ever landed on foam? Tara shakes her head. No. Neither have I. Not in a commercial jet anyway. Tara's eyes widen. You have in a fighter, once. Emergency landing after a bird strike took out my hydraulics. Foam gives you more margin if you blow a tire or lose directional control, but it's slippery. You have to be smooth. I don't know if I can... You're not landing. I am. Tara turns, stares at her. What? You've done amazing, but you've never landed single engine. You've never landed on foam, and you've never landed with crosswinds gusting over 20 knots. Imani's voice is calm, firm. I have, all three, at the same time. Tara swallows. Are you qualified to? No. My civilian rating expired 3 years ago. Technically, I'm not legal to touch these controls. Imani meets her eyes. But I'm the best chance we have. Tara looks at the instruments. The workload is crushing. She's barely keeping up, and they haven't even started the approach yet. She nods. Okay. You land it. Imani doesn't smile, doesn't celebrate, just nods once. I need you on the radios and calling out altitude. Can you do that? Yes. Good. Imani slides into the captain's seat, left side. The controls feel foreign, too heavy, too sluggish compared to an F-16, but the principles are the same. Lift, drag, thrust, weight. Physics doesn't care what you're flying. She wraps her hands around the yoke, tests the control response. The plane reacts slower than she's used to, but it reacts. She adjusts the rudder trim again, fine-tuning, balancing the asymmetric thrust. Tara, I need you to do something for me. What? Call out our altitude every 100 feet, starting now. We're at 8,500. Good. Keep going. Tara watches the altimeter. 8,400. Imani adjusts pitch. Slight nose down, increasing the descent rate. 8,300. She's feeling the plane now, the weight, the momentum, the way it wants to yaw right because of the dead engine. 8,200. She reduces power slightly. Engine 1 is running hot. Not dangerous yet, but close. 8,100. Outside the clouds are darker. Rain streaks the windshield. The wipers struggle to keep up. 8,000. Imani keys the radio. Buckley Tower 7-2. Echo. Passing through 8,000. Request latest winds. 7. 2. Echo winds now 170 at 18, gusting 26. Visibility 2 miles and moderate rain. 2 miles. That's tight, especially without reliable instruments. Copy Tower. She looks at Tara. We're going to break out of the clouds around 3,000 feet. When we do, I need you to call out the runway. I'll be watching the instruments until then. Okay. And Tara, if I tell you to take the controls, you take them. No questions. Understand. Tara nods. Understood. The descent continues. The clouds swallow them. Visibility drops to 0. Gray nothing in every direction. Imani flies the needles. Attitude, altitude, heading. The only truth she has left. 7,500. Tara calls. The plane shudders. Light turbulence. Not severe, but enough to make everything harder. 7,000. Imani's hands move constantly. Small inputs, correcting for wind, for weight shift, for the dead engine trying to pull them right. 6,500. She glances at the fuel. 21 minutes remaining. Buckley is 12 minutes out. Still have margin. Still okay. 6,000. The turbulence increases. The plane rocks. Not violent, but persistent. 5,500. Imani breathes. 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Old habit. Keeps her heart rate steady. 5,000. Dr. Reed's voice from behind. He's getting worse. Pulse is weakening. Imani doesn't turn. 10 more minutes. I don't know if he has 10 minutes. Then I'll make it 8. She pushes the nose down slightly, increases the descent rate. The plane accelerates. The airspeed indicator, unreliable as it is, edges upward. 4,500. The controls feel heavier. She's pushing the airframe harder than it wants to go. 4,000. Still in the clouds, still blind. 3,500. Then breaks in the clouds. Flashes of ground below. Dark, wet. Patches of light from distant buildings. 3,000. They break through. Suddenly, the world reappears. Below them, Buckley Air Force Base. The runway, dead ahead. Bright lights marking the edges. And covering the entire surface, white foam. Thick. 3 inches deep. The crash trucks are lined up on both sides. Red lights flashing. Fire crews standing by. Tara sees it. Runway in sight. 12 o'clock. I see it. Imani adjusts heading. Lines up with the center line. The wind is pushing them left. She compensates. Holds the crab angle. 2,000. She reduces power slightly. The descent steepens. 1,500. The plane is stable now. On glide path. Lined up. 1,000. She calls out commands. Calm. Controlled. Flaps 15. Tara reaches for the flap lever. Sets it. Flaps 15. The plane slows. The nose pitches up slightly. Imani compensates. Gear down. Tara pushes the gear lever. 3 green lights appear. Nose, left main, right main. Then 1 light goes out. The nose gear light flickers. Red, then amber, then nothing. Gear disagree, Tara says, voice tight. Nose gear won't lock. Imani's jaw clenches. Recycle it. Tara pulls the lever up. Waits. Pushes it down again. 2 green lights. The mains are down and locked. The nose light stays dark. Still no lock. Imani thinks fast. Nose gear not locked. Single engine. Foam runway. Gusting crosswinds. This just got a lot harder. Leave it, she says. What? We'll land on the mains. Keep the nose up as long as possible. Can you do that? I've done worse. She keys the radio. Buckley Tower 7-2 Echo. Nose gear unsafe. Landing on mains only. There's a pause. Then 7-2 Echo copy. Crash crews advised. You are cleared to land. 7-2 Echo. The plane descends through 500 feet. In the cabin, Paige's voice comes over the PA. Shaking now. She can't hide it anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, brace for impact. Brace position. Head down, stay down. Brace, brace, brace. The cabin erupts, screaming, crying, people grabbing each other, parents clutching children. Grant is frozen in his seat, face white, lips moving, but no sound coming out. He might be praying. He might be in shock. Linda has her head between her knees, hands locked behind her head, perfect brace position. Her legal mind has shut down. Survival instinct has taken over. Derek drops his phone. It clatters to the floor. He leans forward, assumes the position. His live stream is still running. 17,000 viewers watching the floor of the cabin. Trevor is bent over, sobbing uncontrollably. The woman next to him, a stranger, reaches over and grabs his hand. Holds tight. Harold sits upright. Doesn't brace. He's been through this before. Helicopter crash in the Gulf. 1978. He survived then. He'll survive now. He looks toward the cockpit. Whispers, "Bring us home, kid." Imani's hands are steady on the yoke. The runway is rushing up. Fast. 400 feet, Tara calls. The wind hits them, hard. From the right. The plane yaws. Imani corrects. Adds rudder. Holds the crab angle. 300. The foam on the runway looks surreal. Like snow. White and smooth. Deceptive. 200. Engine 1 is screaming. Running at 92%. Higher than it should. But she needs the power to hold the approach. 100. Imani pulls power back. The engine quiets. The plane sinks. 50. She flares. Pulls the nose up. Just a little. Not too much. She needs the mains to touch first. The main wheels hit the foam. Hard. The plane bounces. Once, twice. Then slams back down. The foam sprays. White sheets of it billowing up on both sides. Imani holds the nose up. Keeps the yoke back. The nose gear is unlocked. If it hits wrong, it could collapse. The nose could dig in. The plane could cartwheel. She can't let that happen. The plane decelerates. The foam is dragging, slowing them, but also making everything slippery. The plane starts to yaw. Left, Imani corrects with rudder, but the single engine makes it harder. Asymmetric thrust. The plane wants to spin. She fights it. Small inputs, constant corrections. The nose is still up, still off the ground, but the plane is slowing, losing speed, losing lift. Gravity is winning. The nose drops, slowly. The unsecured gear touches foam, holds, for 2 seconds, then clunk. The strut shifts. The nose tilts forward. Metal scrapes foam. Sparks fly. Bright orange against white. The plane skids. Left, then right, fishtailing. Imani steers with rudder, with differential braking, with every trick she knows. The plane is vibrating, shaking. The scraping sound is deafening, but it's slowing. 1,500 feet, 1,200, 1,000, 800, 500, 250. The plane stops, dead center on the runway, surrounded by foam, smoke rising from the nose gear, sparks still flickering. Silence, just the hiss of foam, the ticking of hot metal, the rain on the fuselage. Then the cabin explodes, crying, shouting, cheering, a wave of sound so loud it's almost physical, people sobbing in relief, strangers hugging, hands raised, voices lifted. Trevor collapses against his seat, gasping. The woman next to him is crying, still holding his hand. Grant sits motionless, tears streaming down his face, his mouth open. No words. Linda lifts her head, stares at the seat back in front of her. Doesn't move, doesn't speak, just breathes. Derek fumbles for his phone, picks it up. His hands are shaking so badly he almost drops it. He looks into the camera, whispers, "We made it. I don't know how, but we made it." Harold closes his eyes, exhales long and slow. "Good job, kid." Inside the cockpit, Tara is frozen, hands still on the yoke, eyes wide. She's not processing yet, still in survival mode. Imani reaches over, touches her hand. "Tara, we're down. It's over." Tara blinks, looks at her, then bursts into tears. Imani doesn't say anything, just squeezes her hand once, then lets go. She looks at the instrument panel. Engine 1 is still running. She shuts it down. The roar fades. The cockpit goes quiet. Dr. Reed is still on the floor with Captain Morris. She checks his pulse, looks up at Imani. He's alive. Barely, but alive. Imani nods. Ambulance is coming. Through the windshield, the crash trucks are moving. Red lights flashing, medics jumping out, fire crews spraying foam suppression on the nose gear. The radio crackles. 7-2 Echo Buckley Tower. Outstanding job. Welcome back, Spectre. Imani's hand freezes on the radio. She doesn't respond right away. Tara looks at her. What did he call you? Imani's jaw tightens. She keys the mic. Keys the voice flat. Copy, Tower. She turns off the radios. Stands. Her legs are shaking. She hides it well, but they're shaking. She opens the cockpit door. The cabin is still chaos. People crying, talking, hugging, some still in brace position, afraid to move. Paige sees her, walks over, tears on her face. She can't speak, just grabs Imani's hand, squeezes. Imani nods, pulls her hand back gently, steps past her. Every passenger watches her walk down the aisle. Some try to speak, to thank her. She doesn't stop, doesn't acknowledge them. She just walks to the exit door, stands there, waiting for the ground crew to open it. Harold is watching her. He stands, walks over. You did good, ma'am. She looks at him. Did what I had to. You did more than that. She doesn't respond. The door opens. Warm Colorado air floods in, the smell of foam and wet asphalt. Medics rush in, head straight for the cockpit. Dr. Reed directs them. They load Captain Morris onto a stretcher. Move fast. Efficient. Imani steps aside, lets them pass. Then she steps out, into the rain, into the lights of the crash trucks. Behind her, Paige picks up something from the center console in the cockpit. A coin. Dull bronze, heavy. She turns it over. Engraved on one side, United States Air Force. On the other, Spectre 7, Nellis AFB, 2009-2024, first and last out. She stares at it, then looks toward the exit, where Imani just walked out. She picks up the PA handset. Her voice is thick, emotional. Ladies and gentlemen, the pilot who just saved our lives served 15 years in the United States Air Force, F-16 fighter pilot, Air Medal recipient. She didn't have to help us today, but she did. The applause is deafening, real, deep, grateful. Grant sits motionless. His face burns with shame. Linda covers her face with her hands. She's crying now, quietly. Derek whispers into his camera. I doubted her. I was so wrong. Trevor just sits, staring. Alive. Harold walks to the exit, looks out, sees Imani standing alone on the tarmac, rain soaking her jacket, looking at the foam-covered runway. He salutes, quietly. She doesn't see it. Right now, half the plane thinks she just performed a miracle. The other half is too stunned to think at all. Drop a comment, do you think you could have done what she did? Because what happens next changes everything. Grant finally moves. He stands, walks to the exit, sees Imani outside, alone. He opens his mouth, wants to say something, apologize, thank her, something, but he can't. The words won't come. He just stands there, silent. Imani doesn't look back, doesn't acknowledge him. She just stands in the rain watching the emergency crews work, watching the medics load Captain Morris into the ambulance, watching the plane, scarred smoking but intact, sit quiet on the foam. She closes her eyes, breathes. 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Her hands are shaking now. Delayed reaction, adrenaline crash. She clenches them into fists, forces them to stop. A voice from behind. Paige. Ma'am. Imani turns. Paige is holding the coin. She holds it out. You left this. Imani looks at it. Doesn't take it. Keep it. I can't. You can. You'll need it someday. Paige stares at her. Then closes her hand around the coin. Nods. Imani turns back toward the runway. Rain drips from her hair. Her jacket is soaked through. A black SUV pulls up. Military markings. A man in uniform steps out. Officer. Silver oak leaves on his shoulders. Lieutenant Colonel. He walks toward her. Stops 3 feet away. Salutes. Major Brooks. Imani's jaw tightens. She doesn't return the salute. I'm not a major anymore. Once a pilot, always a pilot. He lowers his hand. I'm Colonel Richardson. Buckley Wing Commander. That was one hell of a landing. Just doing what needed to be done. We've been monitoring your frequency. When we heard the call sign Spectre 7, he pauses. We didn't know you were in the area. I wasn't planning to be. Richardson studies her. You've been out 3 years. Why didn't you come back? Imani doesn't answer. He lets it go. We have a situation, South Korea, need experienced fighter pilots, instructor roles, training next-generation pilots in threat environments. He pulls a card from his pocket, holds it out. Call me. Imani looks at the card, doesn't take it. I'm retired. You just saved 83 lives with skills you swore you'd never use again. He places the card in her hand, closes her fingers around it. Think about it. He salutes again, turns, walks back to the SUV. Imani stands there, card in her hand, rain falling. She looks at it. The number, the seal, the weight of it. She doesn't throw it away, but she doesn't put it in her pocket either. She just holds it, stares at the runway, at the plane, at the life she saved, and the life she left behind. Behind her, passengers are disembarking, slowly, carefully. Down the mobile stairs, the ground crew rolled up. Grant is one of the last to leave. He pauses at the top of the stairs, looks at Imani. She's still standing in the rain, alone. He wants to go to her, to say something, anything, but he doesn't. He just walks down the stairs, head down, silent. Linda follows. She stops halfway down, looks at Imani, whispers something, maybe a prayer, maybe an apology, then keeps walking. Derek is the last. He holds his phone up, films Imani from behind, standing in the rain, soaked, alone. He captions it, hero, no other word for it. He posts it. Within an hour, it will have 1 million views. By morning, 10 million. By the end of the week, the world will know her name. But right now, in this moment, she's just a woman standing in the rain, holding a business card, staring at a plane she never wanted to fly, and wondering if she'll ever be able to walk away again. The rain doesn't stop. Imani stands on the tarmac for another 3 minutes, alone. The emergency crews have moved on. The passengers are gone. The plane sits empty behind her foam, slowly dissolving in the rain. She looks at the card in her hand one more time. Colonel Richardson's number, South Korea, instructor roles. She slides it into her jacket pocket. Doesn't know why, just does. A shuttle bus pulls up. The driver leans out. Ma'am, you need a ride to the terminal. Imani nods, climbs aboard. The bus is empty except for 2 mechanics heading back from a shift. They don't recognize her. She's grateful for that. The terminal is small, military base. Civilian traffic is rare, but today it's crowded. Passengers from her flight filling the waiting area, medics, Air Force personnel, news crews setting up cameras. Imani keeps her head down, walks toward the exit. Nobody stops her. Outside, a taxi idles at the curb. She climbs in. Where to? The driver asks. She doesn't know. She hadn't planned to be getting on that plane this morning. Hadn't planned on any of this. Nearest hotel. The driver nods, pulls away. Inside the terminal, Tara sits in a conference room with Paige Jordan and 2 FAA investigators. They're going through the sequence of events, radio logs, witness statements. One investigator, gray-haired 50-something, leans back in his chair. And you're certain the woman who landed the plane identified herself as former Air Force? Tara nods. She said F-16 pilot, 15 years, call sign Spectre 7. The investigator writes that down. Did she show you any credentials? No. She didn't have time. Captain Morris was... Tara's voice breaks. She swallows. He was dying. We needed help. The investigator's expression softens slightly. I understand, but protocol requires... Protocol would have killed us, Paige interrupts. That woman saved 83 lives. If we'd waited for credentials, we'd be scraping bodies off a mountainside right now. The investigator doesn't argue, just makes another note. The second investigator, younger female, looks at Tara. Do you know where she went? Tara shakes her head. She left right after we landed. Didn't say goodbye, didn't wait for anyone. We'll need to interview her. Good luck finding her, Paige says quietly. In the waiting area, Harold sits with a cup of coffee. He's watching the news on the overhead TV. Derek's video is already making the rounds. Shaky footage of the plane skidding to a stop. Foam billowing. Then a shot of Imani walking away in the rain. The chyron reads, "Mystery pilot saves flight." Who is she? Harold smirks. They'll figure it out eventually. They always do. Grant sits 3 rows away, staring at his phone. He's typed and deleted 5 different social media posts, apologies, explanations. None of them feel right. Linda stands near the windows, on the phone with her firm, explaining why she'll miss tomorrow's deposition. Her voice is steady, professional, but her hands are still shaking. Trevor is being checked by a paramedic. Blood pressure, heart rate, he's physically fine. Emotionally, he'll need therapy. But he's alive. Derek is in the corner phone propped up, live streaming again. 25,000 viewers now. I just want to say, I was wrong. I doubted her. I thought she was making a mistake. But she wasn't. She knew exactly what she was doing. And I'm alive because of her. The comments flood in. Respect. You learned something today. We all did. Across town, Imani checks into a Holiday Inn Express. The desk clerk doesn't recognize her, doesn't watch the news, just hands her a key card and points to the elevator. Room 214, second floor. She unlocks the door, drops her duffel bag on the floor, sits on the edge of the bed. Her hands are still shaking. She presses them flat against her thighs, forces them to stop, breathes. 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Her phone buzzes. She pulls it out. 12 missed calls, 37 text messages. She doesn't read them, just turns the phone off, sets it on the nightstand. She needs silence, needs to think. But her mind won't stop. Captain Morris's gray face, Tara's terrified eyes, the feel of the yoke in her hands, the sound of metal scraping foam, the screams from the cabin. She stands, walks to the bathroom, turns on the shower, scalding hot, steps in fully clothed, lets the water beat down on her. After 5 minutes, she peels off her soaked jacket, her shirt, her jeans, stands under the water until it runs cold. When she steps out, she wraps herself in a towel, sits on the bathroom floor, back against the tub, and finally she cries. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet tears. The kind that come when you've held everything in for too long. She hasn't flown in 3 years, hasn't touched a control stick, hasn't felt that weight of responsibility of lives depending on her decisions. She thought she was done, thought she'd walked away for good, but today proved she can't. Not really. The skills are still there, the instincts, the training carved so deep it's part of her DNA. She wipes her face, stands, looks at herself in the mirror. Her eyes are red. Her hair is a mess. She looks exhausted, but she's still here. She dries off, puts on the hotel robe, lies down on the bed, closes her eyes, and for the first time in 3 years, she sleeps without nightmares. Morning comes fast. Imani wakes to sunlight streaming through the curtains. She checks the clock. 9:47 a.m. She's slept 12 hours. She sits up, stretches. Her body aches, shoulders tight, lower back stiff. Flying that plane took more out of her than she realized. She turns on her phone. 53 missed calls now. Over 100 messages. One is from a number she recognizes. Tara. Ms. Brooks, the FAA wants to talk to you. Please call me. Another from a number she doesn't recognize. Imani Brooks, this is Sarah Chen from CNN. We'd like to interview you about... She deletes it without reading the rest. Another. Ms. Brooks, this is Captain Jennifer Cole, USAF Public Affairs. We need to discuss delete. She scrolls through more. News outlets, airlines, random people who somehow got her number. Then one message stops her, from Colonel Richardson. Major Brooks, I know you said no, but the offer stands. We need people like you, not just for Korea, for everywhere. Call me. She stares at it. Then another message, from a number with a Virginia area code. Imani, it's Amanda. She goes cold. Amanda Reese, her wingman, Syria, 2019. The mission that ended everything. She hasn't spoken to Amanda in 3 years. Hasn't returned her calls, her emails, her letters. She starts to delete the message, then stops, opens it. I saw the video. I knew it was you before they said your name. I knew by the way you flew. Call me, please. Imani sets the phone down, stares at the ceiling. She can't do this. Can't go back to that world. That life. She left for a reason, but the card is still in her jacket pocket, and Amanda's message is still on her screen. And somewhere in Colorado, 83 people are alive because she didn't stay gone. By noon, the story has exploded. Derek's video has 15 million views. News outlets have identified her. Former Air Force Major Imani Brooks. Call sign Spectre 7. 15 years of service. of Air Medal. Combat missions over Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan. Retired 3 years ago. Reason undisclosed. CNN runs a segment. Fox News, MSNBC. They all say the same thing. Hero pilot saves dozens. Mystery woman lands crippled plane. Air Force veteran comes out of retirement to rescue passengers. Her face is everywhere. Screenshots from Derek's video. Old photos pulled from Air Force archives. Her in flight suit, in dress blues, shaking hands with a general. She doesn't watch any of it. She orders room service, eats in silence, thinks. Her phone rings. She doesn't recognize the number. Lets it go to voicemail. 2 minutes later, another call. Same number. She answers. What? Major Brooks, this is Lieutenant General Patricia Lawson, Air Combat Command. I need 5 minutes of your time. Imani sits up. A 3-star general doesn't call unless it's serious. I'm not active duty, ma'am. I'm aware. But you still hold a reserve commission. And your actions yesterday demonstrated that you are still one of the best pilots this country has ever produced. I landed a plane, that's all. You landed a crippled commercial airliner single-engine partial panel in deteriorating weather on a foam-covered runway with a nose gear that wouldn't lock. And you did it perfectly. Lawson pauses. We need you. For what? Instructor pilot. Nellis. Next generation fighter training. We're losing experienced pilots faster than we can replace them. We need people who can teach the way you flew yesterday, calm, precise, adaptive. I can't. Why not? Imani doesn't answer right away. Then quietly, because I'm done, ma'am. Are you? Because from where I'm standing, you just proved you're not. Silence. Lawson's voice softens. Imani, I read your file. I know what happened in Syria. I know why you left. And I understand. She pauses. But you can't run from this forever. You're a pilot. It's who you are. I don't want to be. Maybe. But 83 people are alive today because you are. The line goes quiet. Then Lawson speaks again. Think about it. That's all I ask. Just think about it. She hangs up. Imani sits on the bed, staring at the wall. She doesn't want to think about it, doesn't want to go back. But the voice in her head, the one that's been silent for 3 years, is awake now. And it's asking her the same question Amanda asked. The same question Richardson asked. The same question Lawson just asked. Why did you leave 2 days later? Imani is still in Denver. She's moved hotels 3 times to avoid reporters, turned off her phone, stayed inside, But the story won't die. Passengers from the flight are giving interviews. Tara, Paige, Harold. Grant posted a public apology. I was wrong. I judged someone based on appearance and assumptions. Imani Brooks saved my life. I will never forget that. Linda donated $100,000 to veteran aviation programs in Imani's name. Derek's video is at 30 million views now. He's gained 200,000 followers, but he's not celebrating. He keeps posting the same message, find her, thank her. Trevor started a GoFundMe for the pilot who saved us. It's raised over $500,000 in 48 hours. Imani doesn't know about any of this. She's offline, disconnected, until there's a knock on her door. She freezes. Nobody knows she's here. The knock comes again. She walks to the door, looks through the peephole. It's Amanda. Her stomach drops. She opens the door. Amanda Reese stands in the hallway. 38, short blonde hair, sharp blue eyes. She's in civilian clothes, jeans, leather jacket, but she still moves like military. They stare at each other for 5 seconds. Then Amanda speaks. You going to invite me in, or do I stand out here all day? Imani steps aside. Amanda walks in, looks around the room, turns to face her. You look like trash. Thanks. When's the last time you ate? This morning. Liar. Amanda drops a bag on the table. Takeout. Thai food. The smell fills the room. Eat. I'm not hungry. I don't care. Eat. Imani doesn't argue. She opens the bag, pulls out a container. Pad Thai. She eats slowly, mechanically. Amanda sits across from her, watches. You've been hiding. I've been resting. Bullshit. You've been running. Again. Imani sets the fork down. Why are you here, Amanda? Because you saved 83 lives and then disappeared. Because the entire Air Force is looking for you. Because I'm your friend and you won't talk to me. We're not friends anymore. Amanda's jaw tightens. Yes, we are. Amanda, you don't get to shut me out, Imani, not after what we went through, not after Syria. The room goes silent. Imani looks away. I don't want to talk about Syria. I know, but we have to. No, we don't. You left because you thought it was your fault. It wasn't. I made the call. You made the right call. 2 civilians died, and 16 Marines lived. Amanda leans forward. You made a choice in a split second, under fire, with incomplete information. You saved lives, Imani. You did your job. I killed people. You were at war. That's what war is. Imani stands, walks to the window, stares out at the parking lot. Amanda follows, stands beside her. You've been punishing yourself for 3 years, hiding, pretending you're not a pilot anymore. But yesterday proved you can't hide from who you are. I don't want to be that person. Why not? Because you made a hard choice. Because you carry the weight of it. Amanda's voice softens. Imani, everyone who's ever flown combat carries weight. Every single one of us. You're not alone. Imani doesn't respond. Amanda sighs. I'm not here to force you back. I'm here because I care about you. And because you deserve to know what you did yesterday mattered. Those people are alive because you didn't stay hidden. She pulls something from her pocket, sets it on the table. The air medal coin, the one Imani left in the cockpit. Paige gave it to me, said you told her to keep it, but I think it belongs with you. Imani looks at it, doesn't touch it. Amanda walks to the door, pauses. General Lawson called me, told me about the offer. Instructor pilot, Nellis. She looks back. You should take it. I can't. You can. You just won't. Amanda opens the door, steps into the hallway, turns one more time. You're the best pilot I've ever flown with, Imani. Don't waste that. The world needs people like you. She leaves. The door closes. Imani stands alone. staring at the coin on the table. 3 hours later, Imani is on a plane. Not as a passenger, not as a pilot, as cargo. She's sitting in the back of a C-130 transport, military charter, headed to Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada. She didn't call General Lawson, didn't accept the offer, but she called Amanda back, and Amanda said 6 words that changed everything. Come see it, then decide. So here she is, flying again, but not in control. Just a passenger. The loadmaster, a young airman, maybe 22, notices her staring at the cockpit door. You okay, ma'am? She nods. Fine. You sure you look like you've seen a ghost? Something like that. The flight is 2 hours. She doesn't sleep. Just listens to the engines, the hydraulics, the sound of the airframe under stress. It's different from a commercial jet. Louder, rougher, more honest. She closes her eyes, breathes. When they land, Amanda is waiting on the tarmac. She walks Imani to a building near the flight line. Inside pilots, dozens of them, young, eager, confident. Amanda leads her to an observation deck. Below an F-35 is taxiing, sleek, powerful, the next generation. That's what we're training them for, Amanda says. 5th-gen fighters. But the skill set hasn't changed. Decision-making, adaptability, staying calm when everything goes wrong. She looks at Imani. That's what you did in Syria. That's what you did 2 days ago. And that's what these kids need to learn. Imani watches the F-35 take off. Afterburners lit. Climbing vertical. It's beautiful. Amanda hands her a tablet. Flight sim data from yesterday. Your approach to Buckley. Imani scrolls through it. Pitch, roll, power settings, descent rate, every input she made, mapped and analyzed. Perfect, Amanda says. Within 0.2 degrees of optimal. Single engine, partial panel, gusting crosswinds. You flew it like a textbook case. It wasn't textbook. It was survival. That's the point. Textbook gets you killed in the real world. Adaptation keeps you alive. These pilots need to learn that from someone who's done it. Imani hands the tablet back. I'm not a teacher. You taught Tara how to fly partial panel in under 10 minutes. You taught her to trust herself when she was terrified. You're already a teacher. Imani doesn't respond. Amanda walks to the window, looks out at the flight line. I'm not going to beg you, Imani, but I will say this: you have a gift. And gifts like yours don't come along often. If you walk away again, you're wasting it, and you're letting fear win. It's not fear. Then what is it? Imani is silent for a long time. Then quietly, guilt. Amanda turns. For Syria. For not saving everyone. For making the call that killed 2 people. For walking away when I should have stayed and figured out how to live with it. Amanda steps closer. Imani, you're human. Humans make mistakes. But you don't walk away from who you are because of one mistake. You learn, you grow, you keep going. I don't know if I can. 2 days ago you did. Imani looks at her. Amanda's eyes are steady, certain. General Lawson is in her office right now, waiting. If you want to talk to her, I'll take you. If you want to leave, I'll drive you to the airport. Your choice. Imani looks back at the flight line, at the jets, at the pilots climbing into cockpits. She thinks about Captain Morris, about Tara, about the 83 people who walked off that plane alive. She thinks about Amanda, about the Marines who lived because of the call she made in Syria. And she thinks about the 2 civilians who didn't. She'll carry that forever. She knows that. But maybe carrying it doesn't mean running from it. She looks at Amanda. Take me to the general. Amanda smiles. Let's go. General Lawson's office is exactly what Imani expected. Flags, plaques, photos of jets and missions and people who've given everything for their country. Lawson stands when they enter, extends a hand. Major Brooks. I'm not a major anymore, ma'am. Humor me. They sit. Lawson pulls out a file. Imani's service record. 15 years, 300 combat hours, 2 air medals, 1 Bronze Star, exemplary performance reviews. She looks up. And then you resigned. No explanation. Just walked away. I had my reasons. I know. Syria. November 23rd, 2019. Imani's jaw tightens. Lawson continues. You were flight lead. 2 F-16s. Close air support for a Marine convoy under fire. Civilians in the area. You made a split-second call to engage hostile targets despite proximity to non-combatants. She pauses. 2 civilians were killed. 16 Marines survived. I know the numbers. Do you know what the Marines said? They said you saved their lives. That without you, none of them would have made it home. That doesn't change the fact that 2 people died. No, it doesn't. But it also doesn't change the fact that you did your job under impossible circumstances, and you made the least bad choice available. Imani looks away. Lawson leans forward. Imani, war is full of impossible choices. You're not the first pilot to carry that weight, and you won't be the last, but you can't let it define you. It already does. Only if you let it. Lawson slides a document across the desk. Instructor pilot, Nellis, you teach next-generation pilots how to make the hard calls, how to stay calm, how to adapt, how to live with the choices they make. She pauses. You teach them to be like you. Imani looks at the document. Contract. 1 year. Option to extend. Why me? Because you're still here. Despite everything. You're still here. And that's what we need, pilots who understand the cost but keep flying anyway. Imani picks up the pen. Stares at it. What if I make another mistake? You will. Everyone does. But you'll also save lives. Like you did 2 days ago. Like you did in Syria. Imani sets the pen down. I need time. Take it, but not too much. We need you. She stands, walks to the door, stops, looks back. Thank you, ma'am. Lawson nods. Thank you, Major. Outside, Amanda is waiting. What did you tell her? That I need time. Fair enough. They walk toward the flight line. The sun is setting, orange and red streaking the sky. Imani stops, looks at the jets. I miss it, she says quietly. I hate that I miss it, but I do. Then come back. It's not that simple. It never is. They stand in silence, watching the sky fade. Then Imani speaks. Tell me about the Marines, the ones from Syria. Amanda pulls out her phone, shows her a photo. 16 men and women, smiling, alive, holding a sign, Thank you, Spectre 7. Imani stares at it. Her throat tightens. They wanted you to have that, Amanda says. They've been trying to find you for 3 years. Imani wipes her eyes. I didn't know. Now you do. 3 weeks later, Imani Brooks walks into a briefing room at Nellis Air Force Base. 12 pilots sit waiting. Young, confident, ready to learn. She sets her tablet on the podium, looks at them. My name is Major Imani Brooks, call sign Spectre 7. I'll be your instructor for the next 6 months. And the first thing you need to know is this: everything you think you know about flying is wrong. They stare at her. She smiles. Let's get started. Months pass. Imani teaches, flies, lives. The guilt doesn't go away. It never will. But it gets lighter, manageable. She talks to the Marines from Syria, hears their stories, their gratitude. It helps. She talks to Tara, who's back to flying. More confident now, stronger. She talks to Harold, who sends her photos of his grandkids with the caption, because of you. She doesn't talk to Grant or Linda, but she sees their donations, their apologies, their attempts to make amends. It's enough. 1 year after Buckley Imani receives a package, inside a plaque, from the passengers of Flight 72 Echo. To Major Imani Brooks, you gave us our lives back. We will never forget. She hangs it on her wall, next to her air medals, next to the photo of the Marines. And for the first time in 4 years, she feels like she's home. Her phone buzzes, a text from Colonel Richardson. Heard you're doing great at Nellis. Proud of you. Still need you in Korea when you're ready. No rush. She smiles. Types back, maybe someday. She sets the phone down, looks out the window, at the flight line, at the jets taking off into the Nevada sky. And she knows this is where she belongs, not running from the past, not hiding from the guilt, but flying towards something better. Final image Imani in flight suit, walking toward an F-16, the sun behind her, her shadow stretching long across the tarmac. She climbs into the cockpit, straps in, 5-point harness, old habit. The canopy closes, the engine spools up, the radio crackles. Spectre 7, you are cleared for takeoff. She smiles, keys the mic. Spectre 7, copy, rolling now. The jet accelerates, lifts, climbs, and Imani Brooks, pilot teacher survivor, flies into the endless blue. Free,